The Situation Room with Wolf Blitzer, weekday afternoons at 5 Eastern on CNN.
He's either sending dangerous messages or being taken out of context. He's either an incurable strongman like his friend Hosni Mubarak or a valuable steward for his country through this crisis. It could be all of the above. And either way, Egyptian Vice President Omar Suleiman seems to become more important by the minute. That's why so many officials outside Egypt listen so carefully to his comments. Take this criticism from the White House.
I think the Vice President Suleiman made some particularly unhelpful comments about Egypt not being ready for democracy.
Suleiman said this to ABC News when asked if he believes in democracy.
For sure, everybody believes in the democracy.
So do you not?
But when you will do that? When the people here will have the culture of democracy.
But an Egyptian official tells CNN Suleiman is being misinterpreted. He said in another interview, Suleiman told journalists that if the crisis escalates and a coup is attempted, unfortunately, Egypt doesn't have the civic or democratic culture to counter that. This Egyptian official also told us Suleiman was misquoted as saying the government couldn't tolerate the protests much longer. That was interpreted as a threat to crack down further. The official says what Suleiman meant was that the country as a whole couldn't take much more of this because schools and businesses are shut down. But given Suleiman's past, it's not hard to see how his words could be taken as ominous signals. Omar Suleiman's roots are in the Egyptian military, but he made his reputation as head of the intelligence service, which is widely feared among Egyptians for infiltration and torture. Fuad Ajami of Johns Hopkins says despite his concessions to the protesters, Suleiman's every bit as much of a dictator as Mubarak. Has he had a hand in the atrocities during this crisis and in the past?
Look, his past, he's the head of intelligence. And for the dirty tricks of the regime, for the unsavory deeds of the regime, the head of intelligence is doing it all. I mean, this is the man at the center of all this. But
Ajami and other analysts say there's a flip side to Omar Suleiman.
He's been the main Egyptian negotiator trying to work out between Hamas and the Palestinian National Authority some rapprochement. He has certainly been the one who's worked with the Israelis and others, including the United States, over issues of terrorism.
So the solid picture we're getting of Omar Suleiman from U.S. and Egyptian officials and analysts that he may not be the best person to lead Egypt through this crisis, but there may not be many better alternatives. One State Department official told me no one thinks he's a nice guy, but some key leaders from the U.S. and its allies are comfortable with him because of their past dealings with him, and he is trusted by a large segment of the Egyptian people, feared but trusted for now, Wolf.
Is he positioning himself, though, to replace Mubarak as president?
Well, he has said recently, and an Egyptian official told me today, no way that they're prohibited from the Constitution, by the Constitution, from doing that. But U.S. officials and others are concerned that maybe over the next 7 months, until elections are held, that he and his cronies may find some clever way to position themselves to take power under the guise of some pluralistic democracy that's a democracy in name only. They're very concerned about that. 7 months is a long time to bide your time in Egypt.